Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about this drone, why I like it and why it's my favorite drone so far. Let's get started. So when it comes to Mavic Mini drones, I first bought them when I changed the rules in Canada that you have to take a test. And at the time I didn't have my permanent residency, so I wasn't able to do that test. So I sold my Mavic Pro for the Mavic Mini 1. And because it's under 249 grams, you don't need to have any tests or anything because it's considered a toy. That was the reason I changed my Mavic Pro to the Mavic Mini in the first time. I think that was like 3 or 4 years ago. Can't remember when it came out. But yeah, I had the Mavic Mini 1, I had the Mavic Mini 2, and now I have the Mavic Mini 3, and it's by far the best one so far. Let me tell you why. Okay, so I got this drone 2 months ago and I haven't stopped using it since. One of the reasons is I'm usually shooting travel stuff when I'm out and traveling, and I mostly shoot for social media. And the biggest reason why this drone is good for me as a content creator for social media is that it can shoot vertical video. And that's like the biggest plus for me because you don't have to crop into the image and shoot a horizontal image and you have to crop in. Shooting vertical video when you post to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts is really essential because you get the maximum quality out of the sensor possible. The Mavic Mini 3 also has a few safety upgrades if you're into that kind of stuff. It has 2 forward sensors and 2 backward sensors. So if you're scared of crashing your drone, you have now extra safety and the drone will stop if there's an object behind or in front of you. The previous drones only had downward sensors. So this is an extra safety feature and makes your drone not crash so easily. Also, what I really like, especially when I'm traveling, is this. The controller has a screen now. I had a few instances where I was up on the mountain and my app was uploaded to the iCloud and I didn't have service and I couldn't download the app and I couldn't fly the drone. This controller, you never have to worry about that again because you can just like turn it on, it connects automatically to the drone and it will work. The battery life on this is pretty good. It lasts way longer than a phone, obviously. And sometimes I was even up the mountain, didn't have my phone fully charged. And it was always like at 2% or so, and you don't want to fly the drone then. But the phone, I didn't like it too much because it's super flimsy. You have to like put in the cables and everything. Then somebody calls you, you get a text while you're flying. It was kind of like annoying. And this is a totally separate device. You can charge it and you're just gonna use it for the drone, nothing else. But the phone, you use it for so much other stuff and the battery drains really quickly especially if you want to fly at the end of the day and you don't charge during the day. Especially when you're traveling, there's usually so much stuff happening. This is just one thing less to worry about when it comes to the drone. The only issue with that is I feel like the connection is not as great as with the previous controllers. I've flown in between the trees, so I was in the forest and going up over the tree line, and I feel like this cuts out way quicker than the previous model. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like the signal is not as strong as with the previous controller. I'll keep you updated on that. So far, it's just my impressions. I'll fly some more and see if that issue continues to happen. But I never actually lost the drone. The drone just went into return to home mode and then gained connection right after. But it's just a little annoying when you want to get that shot and it always cuts out. So I keep you guys updated how that issue evolves over time. There's actually, I just looked it up, there's actually a version where you can get it without that controller with the screen, but I would highly recommend to get the one with the controller with the screen. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it's around 900 USD. The one without the screen is 760 USD. So you just get the normal controller, but I highly recommend the controller with the screen because it's just so much more convenient. If you just want to get the drone by itself, it is $670. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's really worth it if you, especially if you're a content creator with that vertical video, and you can also shoot in 60 frames now, so you can get a little bit slow motion footage in. But keep in mind that when you shoot the slow motion, the footage gets a little soft. This is usually the case when you shoot slow motion video. The footage is not as clear as when you shoot in 24 or 30 frames per second. So yeah, if I was going to purchase the drone again, I would definitely go for the package with the built-in screen, with the controller with the built-in screen, because it's just so much more convenient. one of the big factors is that you don't need, usually, at least here in Canada, you don't need to have like a license for it because it's considered a toy. And also a big plus is the form factor. Like you can just like fit it anywhere. I just usually travel with hand luggage when I'm going somewhere, and it just doesn't take up a lot of space, whereas a bigger drone would take up more space. So I want to travel as light as possible, and for the quality that you get out of the drone, especially like for social media, you don't need tons of resolution and stuff. Especially when you shoot social media videos, this drone is for you. The flight time compared to the old models is actually not that much different. I think it's 2 or 3 minutes more. There's although a battery where you can get a lot of more flight time. I think now the flight time is around 35 minutes, but there's a battery that gives you up to 47 minutes of flight time. So definitely consider that. It's good to have more flight time, obviously, but also probably the battery is going to be more expensive for sure. They also made a new cap to protect the lens from any damages, and I feel like it's pretty easy to put on, way better than the other ones. The other ones were a little bit flimsy in my opinion, but this one usually pops on right away and there's no issues there. So would I recommend this drone to anybody? I would say if you're shooting, you're like a serious videographer, you could consider even this drone because the quality is pretty good. But if you're just shooting stuff for social media, like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, this drone is for you. The vertical video really takes advantage of the full sensor, so you don't have to crop in. And the form factor for traveling is just unbeatable. You don't need a license. You have the controller with the built-in screen. I highly recommend this drone. I recommend this drone to anybody who's just starting out, is even a professional, like a content creator like me. If you have like a big production studio and you're producing stuff for like the cinema, obviously you want to get a different drone. This drone is for traveling, content creation, or just having fun. So that's it. Thanks so much for sticking around until the end of the video. I hope you learned something today. As always, a free and easy way to support the channel is hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, you might consider doing so. I'd really appreciate it. If you have any questions, shoot me a message on Instagram at sebpicmedia, and I'll see you in the next video.